Good morning. If you'd like to see how we made this 60 foot long deck railing for my deck, stay tuned because that's what we're going to do today. Good morning. Today we're going to be replacing porch railing on my front porch. It's been in place for about 20 years and it's done its duty and needs to be replaced. So we'll go over that project today and anything else we come up with. Let's knock off the chit chat and get the porch rail building. Here's the rail we have to replace. We also have to put a gate in that gap, replace the stair railings, and then the rail goes all the way around there. Down there you can see I've already done that end down there. We'll use that as a prototype. What I've done is over the weeks leading up to this, I've painted all my material. Actually, there's still some material I need to purchase, but it's pre-painted. I painted it, and also it's all treated lumber. So I just let it sit around for a couple of months to dry. Okay, as I said, that's our prototype. I did that yesterday when I was hauling all this wood up here on the deck. Today we're going to replace 4 sections. This section, this section, this section, and that section there. So that's 4 sections, and that'll be our goal today. First thing, we got the little demolition. I've got a reciprocating saw with a pruning blade on there. Now the trick here is to demolish this thing without ruining these posts here, which they're solid, so I don't want to replace them. And if my theory is right, with those cuts in the center, that'll give us plenty of leverage to pull this thing off. Putting the top braces in. First thing, down at that end, I got it propped up on a nail. And this end, I'll just line it up with this other board. Put one nail in it. So now I got one nail at that end. I got my spirit level on top. And now I put my nail low enough down here where I can play with the elevation of it and get it plumb, or not plumb, level. Well, I got that top and bottom nailer for the things, and I wrapped it around the corner and got the left side of the stair rails down. Let me show you what I'm doing now. What I'm doing now is installing this nailer up on the top up here. Let me get this in, and I'll show you what it's all about. That nailer we put on goes right under here, and then these screws, these long exterior deck screws come in from the underside, hold this cap on. That means that the top cap here doesn't have any fasteners showing, and for water to leak in. So what I got to do here is go down through on this nailer and put holes through the nailer for my screws to come up through. Now all I can do is just drive these screws in from underneath. I'm fitting these boards using a jigsaw. Well, it's the next day. I didn't get those 4 sections finished yesterday because I realized that I had a bunch of painting to do, and this paint has to dry for a while before I can do anything. I did get some more demolition done. Well, and that's another thing, you know, with demolition, you got to haul away the old stuff, and that takes time. Here you can see how far I got. Right down to here. And I also got the demolition done for this other half. So we get all the pickets in, we can start working on that. So what I'm doing here is putting the pickets in. I'll show you how all that works. How I space the pickets is with the this stick right here. I got this, a viewer gave me this tip. I just marked the center lines where I want the pickets, and then I just plumb each one. That is, instead of using, I normally use a spacer, but you still have to check every other one for plumb. So really this is a lot faster and better. So here I just put trace those marks up on the top rail there. Now I can just line up my picket right on that center line. That goes right on the center line. The stair rails have these little knobs on the top of the post, little decorative knobs. Well, we're changing the style of the deck rail, so I'm going to be taking those off. Let me show you what they look like. This is what a stair rail is going to look like. It just comes straight down and stops. So what that means is we have to put an angled cut that is the same slope as our top rail here. Let me show you how we do that. Sorry about the darkness, but I live in South Carolina and it's hotter than heck, so I have to start early in the morning. What I'm using is this long pruning blade, and what I'll do is I'll just go through at that angle, and I'll copy the angle off my top rails here. Now at that angle cut here, matching the top rail slope, the top plate will then fit on there just like this. I got the rest of the frame up. I guess we can start putting in some pickets. Now, one thing I need to talk about on the spacing of the pickets, you know, we used this thing here to mark where we want the pickets. We can't use this on this sloping area here because in order to keep the spacing the same as the rest of them, the distance between the center lines is going to have to be a little bit longer. I'll show you. Now this is my normal center to center spacing for the pickets that are level up here. But I use this little spacer right here, which is a little bit longer, about 1/2 inch longer, to get the correct spacing on that stair rail. I'm actually going to go through here and try to plumb these all up at one time. That way I can use 2 hands. Well, except for some painting, I'm about done. What I'm doing now is loading up all my construction stuff, take it back to the shop, and then we'll take a look at our handiwork. Well, that does it for Memphis Monday 270. We tore out the old porch railing. We installed new porch railing, guaranteed to last 10,000 years. I still got some painting to do, but I'm not going to take you along for that. And I didn't do that gate because I still haven't decided what kind of gate I'm going to put in there. It's too wide for one continuous gate. I don't want to mess it up. But it's a huge porch. Big job. But as with all these jobs, 3/4 of it is logistics. That old porch had to be tore out, hauled away, and all the tools had to be moved over here. So I've spent more time hauling stuff than I have building. All right, overall I'm pretty satisfied. Well, that'll do it for Memphis Monday 270, replacing the porch railing. Pretty big job. What was really hard, of course, was, as I said before, a couple of minutes ago, it's the logistics that's hard on that, the disposal of the old deck and hauling all that wood and sawhorses and tools, and you spend half your time or more hauling stuff around. But I guess that's the way all construction is. All right, so hope you got some takeaways. Like, favorite, share, all the stuff you do on the internet. Most important, make sure you're back here next week for another exciting Memphis Monday. Thanks for playing along.